I have got the biggest Mariners bandwagon fan there is ever. I swear, like, dude, like, come on now. Is this whole thing an act about you with the Mariners being a diehard fan or what?
Yeah, dude. I don't even like baseball. I actually quit baseball after the fourth grade when I asked my teacher, Miss Robish, shout out, to come to one of my Little League games, and she brought her boyfriend. And I remember being like, I had a huge crush on her, and I just remember she shows up, she's like, hey, this is Brian. And I was like, I don't remember saying you could bring a +1.
How we going, mates? Welcome to the Top Step presented by Warrior Injury Law. If you're injured, contact attorney Rob Edens at 253-WARRIOR. Battle tested. All right, we have got a stack show for you today. A lot to dive into. Look, the Mariners rotation, we all know it's been under fire in the first quarter of this season. I didn't think I'd ever be saying that. But look, there's finally something to feel good about on the pitching front. Plus, my good mate and the undisputed king of Mariners fandom, I still don't know how this guy has time to keep up with the Seattle Mariners. This guy's like hanging out with all the celebrities down in Hollywood, and he's one of the best, man. He's one of the funniest. Well, he is the funniest person I've ever met. He's a professional comedian. Adam Ray joins me later on for some good laughs, some Mariners trivia that you can play along to as well. See if you are a bigger fan than Adam Ray. Plus, of course, look, he gives his best shot at how to speak Australian. Spoiler alert, it's pretty brutal. I'm not going to lie. He messes up the How to Speak Australian. I can't believe it. I was pretty devastated by it, to be honest with you. Listen, if you're loving the show, go subscribe at the Top Step TV over at YouTube. Like the channel. Check out all the extra content, full-length interviews, and join the TTS community all season for all your favorite Mariner players. All right. Let's get into this week's Eyes on the M's. It starts right now, brought to you by King LASIK. Hey, mates, if you're ready for freedom from hassling with glasses and contacts, do what I did. Go to King LASIK. It was the best decision, I'm telling you, I ever made. From my eyes, the procedure was easy. It was in and out of there in 15 minutes. Start with a free Zoom consult at kinglasik.com. Okay, look, we all know about this rotation, and I still am in shock that we're talking about having 3 of the 5 guys hit the IL. But look, starting rotation was supposed to be the backbone of this team. We all know that. Right now, it's really limping. Bryce Miller, IL. Logan Gilbert, IL. George Kirby, it's time on the IL. Started the year on the IL. Look, it struggled to go deep into the games. That was really what they did so well last year when you're talking 1 through 5. It's been a grind to maintain any kind of rhythm or consistency. We know that. But here's the good news. George Kirby, he's finally coming back into the rotation. And this is huge. Now, let's remind everyone who George Kirby is when he is right. Right? We're talking a 3.5 ERA, same as what he did in his All-Star year. Last season, he was top 10 in all of Major League Baseball in innings pitched, 191 innings and 1/3 of them. Right? So top 10 in innings pitched. That's a real workhorse. It was top 10. He was top 10 in quality starts, 20 of his 32. That's 2/3 of starts where he gave the Mariners a legit chance to win. And he was top 10 in WAR at 4.2. I mean, he wasn't just good. He was one of the most valuable pitchers in baseball. And I keep going back to that efficiency. We haven't seen that. That's why some of these numbers are important. Here's what I love. Look, he led all of Major League Baseball in walks per 9. Again, efficiency. Look, that's that command. That's confidence. That's a guy who stays in the strike zone, attacks hitters, the mantra of the Seattle Mariners. He just doesn't give away free passes. Now, yes, look, he had a few hiccups last year, a couple clunkers. One against the Tigers. I remember it vividly. I was in the booth for that game. It was in August. And I'm like, man, we're getting deep in this season. He gave up 6 earnings. But what did he do after that? He didn't spiral. He learned from it. He regrouped. And he rattled off 6 quality starts in his final 8 outings to end the season. That tells me something. That tells me the guy's maturing. He learned a lot from last year. He's figuring things out. And you know what else? He's missed some time. He is hungry to get back in this rotation. I feel like George Kirby, from everything from his All-Star year and last year, he is going to be an absolute beast, actually a Cy Young candidate. And let's get real, man. This team needs that because when the starters aren't efficient, it puts strain on the bullpen. Night after night, week after week. Over time, it breaks you down. The bullpen is already walking on a tightrope, having to fill some massive gaps. And if this team is going to stay in the hunt, they need guys who can give you 6-7 innings and give them to you often at the dominance that George Kirby does in his return. It's not just welcome, it's crucial. He's a tone setter, he's a rhythm stabilizer, and I believe he's coming back with a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. So yeah, this could be the boost that the rotation desperately needs. The Mariners might be treading water right now, but getting George Kirby back on the mound, that could be the spark to turn the tide. That was Eyes on the M's, brought to you by King Lasik. Go to kinglasik.com. All right, coming up after the break, you don't want to miss this. The biggest Mariners bandwagon fan. No, I'm kidding. I'm just messing with him. You know him, you love him. Look, it's Adam Ray. He's a celebrity. He's big time. But I'm telling you, he is the man. Look, actor, comedian, voice of Vince McMahon in Young Rock. He also does Dr. Phil. He does it all. He knows all the cool kids. All right, he's been all over the place, Netflix, yada, yada, you know it. He's got the Mariners take stories and probably a few impressions you don't want to miss. Stick around. We'll be right back on the Top Step.
Olympic Hot Tub is proud to feature endless pools, swim spas designed for swimming, staying fit, and entertaining at home year-round. More information about unlocking your potential at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims, like Sean, who was rear-ended in a car accident.
They're just easy to work with. They're fast. I like the fact that he had military service. I can see a lot of Marine in Rob. He's very in charge, really gets things done. But I didn't have to do anything. He offered me a settlement, and I remember I had a number in my head was nearly double that. I would refer absolutely anybody to Rob.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
See life better with perfect, clear, natural vision from King LASIK.
Being a former professional athlete, I still love staying active. From paddleboarding, snowboarding, even playing with the kids, everything was such a hassle dealing with glasses and contacts. I'm so grateful to Dr. King and King LASIK. It's amazing how much better I see life.
I'm Dr. Joseph King. Let's free your eyes from the hassle of glasses and dirty contacts.
Schedule your free consult at kinglasik.com. King LASIK. See life better.
Olympic Hot Tub is proud to feature hot spring spas, relaxing, healthy saltwater soaking, and hydro massage for your home. Information about unleashing your best self at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
All right, welcome back to the Top Step. It's time for the Sam One Seltzer interview. I have got the biggest Mariners bandwagon fan there is ever. I swear, dude. Come on now. Is this whole thing an act about you with the Mariners being a diehard fan or what?
Yeah, dude, I don't even like baseball. I actually quit baseball after the fourth grade when I asked my teacher, Miss Robish, shout out, to come to one of my Little League games, and she brought her boyfriend. And I remember being like, I had a huge crush on her, and I just remember she shows up, she's like, hey, this is Brian. And I was like, I don't remember saying you could bring a +1. And by the way, I'm tapping back into that. Thanks for bringing up that memory. But no, I love the Mariners, dude. All Seattle sports, growing up in Lake Forest Park, Washington, I think you're just, as a kid, if you have any sort of athletic, interest, you're just, and the team was not great, but we had, when I became a fan, which was, I'd say 90 when I was 8, is when I started to go I just started to understand baseball, play it, and then be a fan of the pro team. And that's when we got Griffey, right? Or was it 89 Griffey? 89 was Griffey, I believe. Yeah. And so that really, that upped my fandom. But yeah, dude, diehard and getting to know.
You are diehard. The fact that if I'm filling in, co-hosting radio, and here you are texting, I'm like, Adam Ray is ridiculously busy because you're obviously podcast, obviously stand up, you're obviously just killing it. And I'm like, how does he have time to take on listening to a radio show from another city and chiming in on the text line?
ADD, I don't know, man. Something's wrong. But and dude, I actually texted, my buddy runs that train. I said, can you fire off a train, a toot? What do you call that?
Well, hang on, no, but
we'll edit this out.
Are we being serious here? Because you told me that your best friend's dad basically designed this stadium. There's the train again.
So
and Lumen Field.
I wouldn't say best friend, but we were in Cub Scouts together, and his nickname was Flop in high school basketball because he would before flops were popular in the NBA. Every time he would even off no contact would fall to the ground, and we would always make fun of him in practice. And then one day he did it in the playoffs on a big play, and we were like, Flop, let's go for mayor. But no, his dad designed this and Lumen Field, and which we were just talking about pre-show.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Ryan Rowland-Smith's pre-show banter, arguably better than his on-air banter.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, he just fumbles, gets real sweaty Mike Lefko palms when he starts the interview, starts to shake a lot. No, yeah, he designed this, which, you were saying in Australia, you guys structurally are so in awe of American buildings, the same way we look at your koalas. This park is. Look, I went to the Kingdom as a kid all the time. It was awesome for baseball. When we packed it in '95 for the playoffs, it was as loud as you could imagine any place being. But this is they have to upgrade and update these stadiums. I don't see how you
there's so much turnover now, man, with stadiums. But this, dude, it holds up. Every time I walk in here, it holds up, man.
And I think that's, again, the Mariners, they do a great job with the fan experience, and sure, do we need another bark in the park? It's debatable. But but as far as where the broadcast booth is, it's appropriate to the field.
Yeah.
Adding the press club, there's the suites. I've sat in a handful of different suite options. Right. The outfield rules. The Baja Men was here, I think, in 2002. Look them up. You're like, the who? Do you know who the Baja Man is?
Of course.
Yeah, who let the dogs out?
I got
we
kids,
still don't know,
I got a puppy. No, trust me.
Yeah, okay. I got a kid, I got a puppy, I got a family. We get it, dude. You're married. Yeah. If you didn't play baseball, sorry to flip the script here, but if you didn't play baseball, do you know how some people will, do road trips to go to every stadium?
Listen, Adam, I'm going to tell you something, right? And again, anytime I talk about Australia or you growing up, because we're about the same age.
Yeah.
My mum just sent me some photos of me when I was a teenager. We're talking I look at those and I cringe. I'm like, how did I end up? I sent a photo of me when I was 16 to my father-in-law and said, if I showed you this back when this is 1997 or whatever, if I sent you this and said, this is your daughter's future husband, you would send her off to Iraq.
Oh my God.
You should have seen me. Just
get her as far away
I had
from the
this
States.
part in my hair, hair tucked behind. I had these Oakleys up on it was brutal.
We all made choices, dude. That's the thing too. In high school, guys wear muscle shirts when they don't have muscles. It's I mean, the gap and structure. Do you remember structure?
No, we didn't have that in Australia.
Well, nobody's perfect, but yeah, you guys. What did you have? You had
Quicksilver.
Yeah. Quicksilver. That was Hot Topic. Did you have a Hot Topic?
No, we didn't. No. We had General Pants Co. We had
General Pants Co.
Yeah.
That was my nickname in middle school. General Pants Co. Dude, worst name for a store, and it was not even a pants store.
Dude, you are obviously killing it, right? Do you ever get to that place? Because I've been around you enough, and you just seem so genuinely happy to be doing what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
You never big league anyone, which you could easily do, right? But you're down here on the field, you treat everyone with the same respect, like you just rolled in from Lake Forest to come to a game, and you're so stoked to meet Mariner players. Do you ever sit there and go, how did this happen?
1,000%. I mean, there's no part of me, you should always be a fan. Look, you do want to find that balance, I think, as I've gotten to do, some cool stuff, finding that balance of fanning out and not. But I had this commercial acting teacher in college that said when you're auditioning for commercials, he was trying to find a way to help you connect, just ground yourself and not be nervous, and also he's like, a lot of times people want to hire people, obviously talent is at the forefront, but you want to seem like you're easy to work with, you're fun, you're nice. So he's like, talk to these casting directors like you've known them for 20 years.
Right.
And that's an easier said than done sentiment, and I definitely, we're trying to wrap your head around that. So you're like, should we, talk about Vegas, what? But it was really just a way of talk to them like people, dude.
Yeah.
People, everyone's just a person, and I think it's making that connection and then fanning out a little bit. But I've also and this isn't a humble brag, but been around enough people to where I'm not fazed by it, but I feel more comfy to just be myself.
Welcome back to the Top Step. Before we get back to T-Mobile, I want to tell you this segment is brought to you by my friends Olympic Hot Tub, a daily soak in a saltwater hot spring spa, a swim in an endless pool, swim spa, or a therapeutic session in a Tylo sauna. A Ways Olympic Hot Tub can help you feel, live, and be better. Start today at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life. All right, let's get back down to T-Mobile with my mate Adam Ray. Dude, the Dr. Phil stuff blew up, man. Were you expecting that?
No. Yeah, dude, I was like, the country's jonesing for a daytime talk show host parody.
So you weren't sitting there going, oh, yeah, man, I've got a thing here.
No, dude, it was out of boredom and needing the actor strike had happened, so there were no auditions happening, and I was already, like, struggling in that department anyway as far as booking jobs, and I was like, why am I waiting to be put in someone else's stuff? Again, going back to creating your own opportunities, and I always want to do a live stage show. I love being on stage. Stand-up was feeling a little monotonous, even though it's still different every time. But I was just like, I've always loved doing characters.
Yeah.
So, and I had been messing around with that. I called Bill Burr. He did the very first one we did 2 years ago, and I was like, Bill, I have this idea for this doctor. It's like a late night show. It's Phil. It's a parody. I'll do a monologue. I'll interview you. He couldn't have been quicker to be like, dude, I love it. Make fun of my anger issues. I'm in. We sold it out in a day, and it went great. Yeah. He's done it a couple times, and then we just started getting bigger and bigger guests. Now we do these 3,000 to 5,000 seat theaters. But I was boarding a plane about a month ago, and I get on, and the pilot was like, Dr. Phil, big fan. And I was like, oh,
wow.
Cool. And he goes, maybe a picture before we get out of here. And I go, man, land the plane safely, and then we'll talk about it, And we'll be right back. And then, but yeah, so that has made my stand-up shows get a little more, I'm selling out my stand-up shows now, too. But
when you roasted the Mariners in spring training,
oh, yeah.
which was awesome. And by the way, a lot of the stuff which is a good thing, is not going to leave that locker room, right? Because that's how it should be.
Yeah, I mean, I told you some of the jokes pre-show.
Yeah.
The only ones they kept in were like, you
said the B material.
Yeah, but like the B material, but and I said like, I'm born and raised in Seattle. I know this place like the back of my hand. The only place I get lost is in Julio's eyes. And then, a Cal joke. I said, Cal leads the, Cal leads the league or the team in RBIs and BBLs or something, and then he's got 50,000 followers on Instagram, 60,000 followers on OnlyFans. But the team was so down. I obviously have got to know Cal.
But it's a tough dude. I've been in the locker room. Guys take themselves very seriously.
You know when I first got this idea that roasting a sports team would never be a good idea? Is when I was watching the ESPYs, I think when Norm Macdonald was hosting, and I remember them cutting to Ken Griffey Jr., my favorite player growing up, and I'm like, and Griffey was just not having it.
Not having it, right.
They just said Ryan Rowland-Smith is up here doing the Top Step podcast, and people are losing. Yeah, dude. Look at that, dude. They're going nuts. Dude, you can't take this guy anywhere.
Can't. That's right. That's how it is for me around here.
I think they just said Mike Salk will no longer be doing the morning show, and they're going nuts.
By the way, that's how it is when I land in Sydney, in Australia. That's how it is. It's insane. I can't go anywhere in Australia.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. Dude, everyone remembers 2010 when I led the team in 6-inning strikeouts in the month of August, man. Australia, it's insane.
You do probably have, the more your stock rises though, right? I mean, the more and more, you probably
dude, no one in the I'm telling you right now, my father-in-law comes down and goes, dude, I can't find the, so-and-so signed a 3-year deal. He goes, I can't find the detail. I'm like, in the newspaper here? Are you kidding me? No one cares.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Joking? Yeah.
No, but the players having a good sense of humor was huge to me. And, so once I saw Griffey not laugh, and, Rick Riz has now told me many Griffey stories about how cool and funny he is, and, like, maybe they even edited that wild, but, like, so I was a little trepidatious about doing it, but I got to know Dan Wilson a little bit from being on the road, and last year especially, I tried to schedule a lot of my gigs around where you guys were. So like in Denver, I remember I was at this club called Comedy Works across the street from Coors Field and the hotel you guys were staying at. So you guys land, Gary and Aaron Goldsmith, Gary Hill and Aaron Goldsmith came to the early show, Riz came to the late show, and then the next day the game was at 4 and my shows were at 7 and 9, so I went over to the park, watched the game from the booth for 2 hours, then went and did my shows. I mean, dream scenario. And so I'm just up there like razzing Shannon Dreyer, who's also got a great sense of humor. I was like, yeah. Riz was like, do you say hi to Shannon? I was like, yeah, no. I looked at her and she goes, look away, and she said no eye contact. And but I told Dan after doing the roast, I was like, you're such a G for wanting, he had to approve me doing it. And I think, after meeting him a few times, he was like, oh yeah, that game seems, chill enough. And they gave me a few restrictions of like what to maybe not say. It was very minimal. But the guys, and then, look, you don't know how it's going to go. There definitely was a part of me that was like, this could bomb, and I'm never going to be allowed to even attend a game.
Right.
But you can't think that way, dude.
Yeah.
And I've done this enough to where you have to have, trust in yourself, enough reps. But also, I ran the jokes by a few buddies. They thought they were funny, so that maybe. And also, like I said, I roasted the Seahawks.
You also got the language barrier too, man. So that just doesn't, when it gets translated.
Oh, bro, no. I did one joke about Randy Rosarena, and this translator was relaying it to him, and as he was doing it, I go, can somebody please explain to Randy what I just said? And but they were all about it, and honestly, like, that to me is another, great sign as far as how the year goes, because
absolutely,
you've told me this, and Wilson was telling me this after. He goes, dude, clubhouse chemistry is huge, and probably baseball more so than most teams. I mean, basketball obviously is such a team sport, but this is the longest season.
Yeah.
So you need people, you got to have that I got your back, all season long mindset, and I don't know. I mean, it's just a cool thing that not every team, I think, also has a hometown comedian that even wants to do that.
Right.
So it was cool, man. I'll never forget it.
Olympic Hot Tub is proud to feature endless pools, swim spas designed for swimming, staying fit, and entertaining at home year-round. More information about unlocking your potential at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
See life better with perfect, clear, natural vision from King LASIK.
Being a former professional athlete, I still love staying active. From paddleboarding, snowboarding, even playing with the kids, everything was such a hassle dealing with glasses and contacts. I'm so grateful to Dr. King and King LASIK. It's amazing how much better I see life.
I'm Dr. Joseph King. Let's free your eyes from the hassle of glasses and dirty contacts.
Schedule your free consult at kinglasik.com. King LASIK. See life better.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims, like Alex. At just 16, she suffered trauma after a broadside collision with a delivery truck.
When I came in, they were so nice. They were just like, don't worry about anything. We'll take care of that. It's gonna be okay. Live your high school life. We got your back. And they did. I would recommend Rob because they have a passion for caring for people.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
Olympic Hot Tub is proud to feature hot spring spas, relaxing, healthy saltwater soaking, and hydro massage for your home. Information about unleashing your best self at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
You are a massive fan, so I'm going to put you to the test here. We're going to play some trivia. I'm going to give you this little whiteboard.
Bro, let's go.
And you're going to write your answer on this and show the camera. You can play along at home, too.
Wow, look at the Top Step budget. The Top Step whiteboard budget, huh?
Yeah. All right. Which pitcher had the most wins in the 2001 season when they all just dominated? Okay, we're talking.
Oh, wait, let me name the pitchers first.
The rotation,
yeah.
go for it.
Aaron Seeley.
Yep.
Jamie Moyer.
Yep.
Freddie Garcia.
Yep.
John Halama.
Yep.
And Joel Pinheiro.
Was Pinheiro 01? I think he.
No way. Pinheiro was 01. Look it up. Donnie, look it up.
Okay.
Mark it 7, Donnie.
Which one of these guys won 20 games? Was it Freddie, Aaron Seeley, Jamie Moyer?
I want to.
Gotcha. Here we go.
I want to say Freddie. I'm going Freddie.
Write it down.
Oh, but I think it's more. I think it's Moyer though. I think it's Jamie, but I'm going Fred.
Boom. Moyer.
Damn,
he won 18.
Wow.
18, but hey.
What a year. That was 2001.
Because I was looking at that guy, man, Freddie Garcia, 18 wins. Wow, he was a stud, dude.
Freddie was a stud.
But then you look, hold on a minute.
Let's talk. Go ahead.
No, then I'm like, look at Jamie Moyer, 20? That was, what a year, man.
What a year, but also, what a year for that whole squad. But what a trade, because Randy Johnson, when we traded him to Houston, that was devastating, because that was Griffey had just gone.
Yeah.
Now Randy's gone.
Yeah.
You're getting Freddie Garcia and I think Carlos Guillen back for Randy, right?
Yes, that's right.
So huge trade. So for Freddie to pan out, because
I know
right away too. Anyway,
I do have a good, funny Freddie Garcia story again.
Yeah, we're good. We're good, Ryan. You can save it for a rainy day.
All right. Okay. All right. We've got one more trivia question now. This brings us to the How to Speak Australian, brought to you by the Kangaroo and Kiwi Pub, the best Aussie pub in Seattle, that's for sure. Now, you can play along with this at home. This is part of the trivia.
Okay.
Who was the first ever Australian to play for the Seattle Mariners? Wear a Mariners jersey. Was it A, Chris Snelling, B, Travis Blackley, or C, yours truly over here, Ryan Rowland-Smith? Who you got? I'm throwing shout outs here, by the way. You have no idea the answer, do you?
It's Ryan Rowland-Smith. It's Chris.
Dude, Chris Snelling. Are you kidding?
Who's that?
Oh my, dude, Chris Snelling has a cult following. I'm telling you, he had 9 knee surgeries. Chris, you can help me out if it's 10. What an absolute stud. Just the most, if you look
2000s?
Chris Snelling, yeah, we're talking, what was this, 2002?
I will be playing Chris Snelling in the Chris Snelling story on Lifetime next year.
Good. Yeah, same build. Same build, yeah.
I mean, dude, I definitely, when I suited up in spring training, a few guys were like, dude, yeah, you kind of look, you know, like you got JP was like, you don't have a total athlete's body. He's like, you kind of look like Rowdy's brother. I was like, all right, JP, nobody asked you.
That was How to Speak Australian, brought to you by the Kangaroo and Kiwi. Adam, this has been an absolute blast, man. I appreciate you spending the time.
You're the man, Ryan.
Enjoy the time. I know you're going down there to hang out with the the guys you want to be hanging out with, the players. I get it.
No, this is best. I want to be up
I've kept you here too long. Appreciate your time, man.
You got it, bud.